Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. We are starting this one off with one of those places to be and people to see brigade. Yes, it's that one behind us. And we have ourselves a second one. As you can see, he's coming up behind us now. I'll flip over now to the front camera so you can see that from my perspective. This is the first one that we saw previous. I'll fast forward now to our next one. There he goes. I think for a split second there he thought he was in mainland Europe driving. Well, he can go over, good lad. Now we're looking at the rear camera again in this clip, and we're on the Rugby Road in Hinckley. Now those of you who know this area will know just past these traffic lights with the junction of Brookside, the two lanes do filter down to one lane, so it's a merging turn. But anyway, we are looking at a queue jumper. You'll see the blue car just there. Now as you saw, he was behind the car that's behind me. Now he's just pulled out there. Now he doesn't want to turn right or to the left as we're looking at it just past the traffic lights. He wants to go straight on as well. Now as I've said before, this is a merging turn that we're in. Now the white car that you did see to the left of me, or the right, or to the right hand side, I did let him in, you know, like a zipper, but this guy tries to get in front as well. Now sorry mate, get behind me, I've already let one person in. Now here we are at the front camera. Now there's that white car that was to the side of me. Now I'll let him in because like I say, this is a merging turn. You know, but that blue car, he's just to the right hand side of me now. Now he knew what he was doing. He didn't make any mistakes. He was just taking the piss, I think. But we haven't finished with that blue car yet because he performs another stunt just up the road here, which you'll see now. Now we're coming up to that roundabout again. Now this roundabout has been on this channel before. Now you see this lane splits into two lanes like you can see here. Now the lane that I'm in is either to turn left down into that housing estate or to go straight on if you're heading down towards the M69. The lane on the right takes you around to the Three Pots estate. Quite simple to understand, but our little friend that we saw earlier thinks otherwise.
Already had a strong response from people living nearby.
Evidence.
There he goes, look, bless him. Well, you finally got in front of me anyway, that's what you wanted.
Surprise.
So we'll just flip round again to the rear camera. There's old matey there in the blue car, and there he goes, bless him.
People living nearby.
Evidence where we are of what people are telling us is that they have seen an improvement because of the work we are doing. Surprise. Volunteers.
Warwick District.
Got my old favourite in this clip, you know, the old places to be and people to see. Someone else who's got places to be and people to see. Now, here he is in the rear camera. Now I didn't notice this, but he actually overtook another car that was behind me as well. There he is now, you can just see his headlights on the opposite side of the road, so he was tanking it a bit to be fair. There he goes. Yeah, see you later, mate. Now, we're on Ashby Road in this clip. Now, I've well and truly seen the light. Now, up ahead of me there, I thought that was actually a motorcycle with a bright headlight, but in fact, it was actually a car. He had one headlight out and this other one was on full beam. Yeah, I think you might want to think about getting your other headlight sorted, mate. We're just coming up to that roundabout again, you know, the one with the A5 and the M69, and we have ourselves a red light runner in this clip. Now watch that white car there and watch our traffic light sequence as well. There was definitely no way that they had a green light there. Well, you definitely didn't have a green light there, mate. In this clip, I'm on Cloudsley Bush Lane heading back towards Wolvie from Lutterworth. Now at this moment in time, I've got my headlights on full beam, but I do dim them because there was a car coming the other way. But for some bizarre reason, they go and chuck their headlights onto full beam. Now I can't think why they did that. The car behind me didn't have their full beam on, so I've no idea. Now some people might say I'm being antagonistic, but I did switch my full beam back on again as I got nearer. And of course, as you can see, I did dip them again as soon as he dipped his lights too. And now I've got one here for you petrol heads. Now unfortunately, because of the low winter sun and the shadows being cast by that building, the timing wasn't really perfect here. Oh, nice little classic number. And from the rear camera. Oh, nice little classic number. And yes, I think I summed it up quite well there in my little comment in the car, talking to myself. We're back to the rear camera now for this clip, and can somebody tell me what that is there behind me? You know, I've not seen one of them before. Okay, I'm being funny, I'm quite aware it is a police officer on a motorcycle. You don't see many of them nowadays, not in these parts anyway.
When you cover your nose,
We've just come off the M1 in this clip, and we're on the M69 now heading south towards Hinckley. And we've got a car on the left hand side here, with no hazards on or anything. Now, I can see they're well in against the grass verge. I know there's street lights here, so the visibility is okay. The roads are a bit wet, but that's another matter. But surely leaving some hazards on just for that extra bit of visibility would be a good idea here. For me, all it would take is for somebody not to be on their A game, not paying attention to what they're doing, veer onto the hard shoulder, and then that's it. Now, in this clip, on this particular day, there was an amber weather warning for rain, with up to 8.5mm forecast over a 24-hour period. Now, whilst most people will like wrap it up in a nice coat or something, it doesn't faze some people, like this guy here. Just wearing trousers and a t-shirt there. I must say, you're definitely a braver man than me, that's for sure. So, as many of you are aware, the UK is obsessed with net zero at the moment, cutting down on carbon emissions using fossil fuels. It is, however, still nice to see local coal merchants still doing the rounds. You'll see one such coal merchant truck pull up on the right hand side in a minute. A nice tidy little Mercedes-Benz Atigo truck from local coal merchant Ken Waring and Sons based in Stoke Golding. By the way, I knew what make and model of the truck it was because it said so on the front. Now, I like to include all sorts of dashcam driving and observations in these videos, and something that you don't see very often is oversized loads, but you're in for a treat here because you've got one coming up on the left hand side.
Ooh, hey, how big isn't it?
Now, I have absolutely no idea what that green cylinder thing is on top of the trailer, so if anyone knows, please let me know in the comments down below. Also, that part of the road may look familiar to you because that was also featured in my last dashcam driving video I uploaded. It was the remains of an old ghost slip road that never was. Now I'll flip round to the rear camera for you. As you can see, a Leicester heavy haulage 6x2 tractor unit providing the horses.
How's that thing?
Now I'm just leaving the Asda Superstore in Coventry here, and I've got one for you petrol heads. Now we've got that little number there on the right hand side. It is a T registration which puts it around to 1999, and as I've said before, anything that predates when the number plate format changed for me is a classic car, so anything that predates 2000-2001 time. And just a cheeky little look from the rear view camera. We're on the Anstey Road in Coventry in this clip, and we're taking a look at that BMW that you see on the right hand side, the black one.
Oh, where's your indicator? Idiot.
As you can see, there's no indication or anything that he was going to pull out. I know some people would say, well, you should anticipate what other drivers are going to do. Now we're just going to go back to the car, and I've got a question for you guys. Is that even a legal number plate? The format's alright, the letters, the numbers and the letters again, but it was actually a dark number plate with dark lettering. Now in this clip I'm going to have another moan yet again, so I do apologise. Now we're just turning onto Binley Road. Now it's been a good few years since I've been down here, but I'm sure this road used to be like a dual carriageway, you know, 2 lanes in each direction. And indeed, having a snout on Google Maps, it certainly was a dual carriageway. Well, there was definitely 2 lanes heading this way. But look what the council have done, Coventry City Council. They've took up 1 lane and replaced it with a cycle lane for the thousands and thousands of cyclists that are using it every day, no doubt, whilst adding to traffic congestion. Now, don't get me wrong, I do believe cyclists do need their own segregated lane away from the traffic, but to take up 1 whole lane, I mean, they want to try and cut down carbon emissions and that, but you're just adding to it with having more traffic being funneled down into 1 lane rather than the 2 that was there previously. Now we're still in Coventry in this clip, and does anyone remember a craze that happened a few years ago? I think it was in the summer of 2022, when some TikToker had gone to a certain chippy in Coventry, and then all of a sudden every man and his dog were going there. You know, the Binley Mega Chippy. Well, that place is right up ahead of us. You know, place, P-L-A-I-C-E, fish, chippy. Oh, you know what, forget it lads. But anyway, that's it there for anyone who's interested. Now, in this clip, I'm heading out of Dodge and heading back home. I had been to the Warwickshire Retail Park in Binley, and as you can see, there's a bit of congestion now on the A46 Coventry Eastern Bypass. No problem there, you know, you take your time, you filter in, you know, Bob's your uncle. However, you've got to hear a truck's horn in a moment.
Continue on Coventry Eastern Bypass for 3/4 mile.
Yeah, you just heard it there. But anyway, I was concentrating on sliding in here. The car that was behind me, he slowed down to let me in. But we're going to flip over now to the rear camera and I'll show you what happened there.
Fuck me.
And yes, that was my response to the traffic that was building up on the A46. Now, as you can see on the left hand side, you've got a tipper lorry. Now, he's not doing anything wrong. Instead, we're watching the numpty that's behind me. And I think for this one, I think numpty was a little bit too polite, to be fair.
Continue on Coventry Eastern Bypass for 3/4 mile.
I mean, seriously, what was that manoeuvre all about? Why didn't you just use a whole slip road like I did more or less and then just slide in? I mean, it didn't get him very far either. And to be fair to the lorry driver, he was on his A game as well. Oh, and I know I go on about manners a fair bit, but I did flash my hazards and put up a little wave to say thank you to the driver behind me as well for letting me in. Anyway, thanks very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video. I have got a couple more transport videos coming up as well over the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for those. I do apologise for the lack of them over the last couple of months, but they've been for reasons that have been out of my control. Anyway, take care and see you soon. Bye for now.